Hi and welcome. My name is Ali Hart and I am the host of this podcast, and you're listening and watching How to Build a Creative Business in a Noisy World. I really hope you enjoy the episode. Hi everyone, and welcome to the final podcast episode in 2021. I'm recording this just on the cusp of December. I am sitting in the room that used to be my studio. My home studio. I intended to bring my microphone home, but you know how it rolls. It's great. The new studio, which is in Hollywood on 139 High Street, if you're listening and you're in Northern Ireland. It's brilliant. So we only open on a Saturday, 1 to 4, but all the other days I work there, and then I do my first pickup at 1:30. One of my boys gets a bus and the other one is in after school stuff and blah, blah, blah. But the point is that sometimes I leave stuff behind, and I brought work home that I need to do. I need to finish a commission tonight, and actually was really excited. Even though the studio is so warm, I was excited about sitting at my kitchen table and just finishing off a few little marks of a paper commission that I have. But yeah, I wanted to do this more ad hoc. Really, it's to make up the numbers so that we have a round number. We might have 80. There might be 80, 70. Oh, I never know numbers. But Ruth told me that this would make it a round number. So how are you doing? As you listen to this, where are you? What's around you? Are you driving? That's the beauty of podcasts, is that we can listen while we drive. Are you cooking? Are you baking? I actually just put cupcakes in the oven. It is 3:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Please don't think that I'm Mother Earth. Last night at 4:45, I came in the door and I had a glass of wine before I did anything. It just so happens that I'm trying to reduce the treats. So even though it's still a treat, we're trying to do it a little bit more, inclusive and things like that with the boys. And they're getting so big. And this is what I wanted to reflect on. I wanted you to think about where you are right now. And I wanted to share about my year and a little bit of honesty. You know that I don't shy away from honesty, but I had a little bit of press interested in things that I've been doing, and written content that I've put online that I've picked up. And for some reason, it feels fine that it's coming from me. But when they want to interview me or to have me talk about different topics about grief or adoption or self-acceptance, it shakes me, and I'm trying to get over myself. So I want you to think about the year that you've had. I want you to look at where you've come from. It's very, X Factor journey type sounding, but it's true. We plow through life, and my business is probably, in terms of on paper, like the most successful it's been. Right? It's on paper and financially it's working. I've never ever had to have a loan. I've never had investors, even getting the new studio. And so I pride myself on that. But then the flip side is that the reality of bricks and mortar and weekly bills and framing and prints and paying for staff, and then the family things which keep going, swimming lessons through school and football boots and like holidays. It's kind of got on top of me a little bit recently, and I've had to really reduce my day-to-day thinking down to like, who have I got in front of me, who loves me, who is healthy. And right now, yes, my dad is dead, but that's something I've had from 1991, so that's not new. I look around and I think my mum's healthy, my brother's healthy, he's married, and his boy is healthy, and his wife, and my side of the family, and then Michael's side of the family, and his sister Jennifer is so good. She helps me in the business as well. She never gets paid for it, actually. I should probably think about that. But she's helped. We're just looking through all of these things. It really helps me on day to day not to get overwhelmed by the fact that I'm tied in. I'm not tied in, but opening up the studio was such a risk, and it didn't feel like a risk at the time. And because it's been so good, and I've had it's just been a really cool shift in the business, having the lights on at night, knowing that people walk past it. Somebody bought last week and they said, your art sold itself to me. And that is just to me, that's perfection. That's great. But the risk of I'm encouraging you to take risks. I think that I'm an example of that. There's so many days that I just want to go and sign up to teaching, and that's not a sign of failure. It's amazing. If you're listening to this, if you're a teacher, you're amazing. Keep going. My husband's a teacher, but I want security, and I want to not waking up and feel everything in my forehead, and I want to not have to think about content to put online, and I want to think about, the other thing is I really take, so you probably wouldn't believe the little wage that I take for myself, because I put it all back into the business. And that's my choice, that's a choice I make. I have the car that I have, and I have the studio, and I count both of those as my wage in a way, because they're me, and I love them both. I don't know if you've got anything like this in your life, but I love, and I know I've said it before, love my car, and I bloody love my studio. It's beyond anything I could have thought of. The next stage for me would just be higher ceilings, but the floor is this pine floor that, of course, I'm ruining. There's two spaces. The front space is like a gallery space, and the back bit is more the working space. So when people come in on a Saturday, I'm often painting, but the front bit is lit up with our beautiful lights, as is the back bit, these proper gallery lights, and it's just so gorgeous. So me bringing my work home today does not happen that often, because we go there. The only problem is, because I'm also a mum, my son wrecks the place, and he ran over these. I've got these really large paintings at the minute which go to the floor, and he was going over them on his scooter yesterday. So I was like, can't do that today, otherwise my mental well-being would be even further into the floor. But what I'm sharing with you is I'm going to be here taking risks for you to see and to learn from. I don't mind failing. It's been a big part of how I've got to where I am. The initial thing, I guess, it's not a failure, but not having a dad, always feeling different. Then failing my 11 plus, the only one in my class, knowing that I was different again. Not getting onto the PGC, the things that you, if you've listened before, will know about me, and you'll know about who I am and how I've, failure is devastating at the time. Even if I think back to miscarrying a baby between my first and second child, and going through a Christmas and being pregnant and getting to 14 weeks and then it not continuing, and going through the loneliness of that. All of those things, our marriage, now is great, and we're good communicators. I actually find life is mental at the minute, but it's also to do with the fact that I don't work from home, so the place gets left, whichever way it gets left, and if lunches are thrown together, they're thrown together, but not, we've come through a lot as well. We were only, Michael and I in our marriage, we didn't know, you don't know. Everyone learns on the job, and that can be in your business and in your creativity too. I'm always saying to you to just go hammer and tongs at whatever you're really good at, and I mean that. I really mean that. And I have to remind myself of that too, because I get attracted by other shiny things that I can do, and maybe I can go back to prints, or maybe I can, but if I believe and put out the energy, for me, it's the paintings at the minute. And It's one of my mentoring students who will probably be listening to this, who reminded me recently in one of our sessions when I said to her, oh, I think I want to go back to print, and not from a money-making point of view, but from a customer satisfaction. I have a lot of customers saying to me, oh, I don't know what to get now because, it was in my gift range. But in the same note, I've always wanted to be a painter, and we do have prints going on to shop in Ireland, which is a great place that sources loads of Irish artists. So there will be some of those in there. But my mentoring student's point was no, the big stuff is what you want and it's what you are. And sometimes you need reminded by people that you are doing it. For me, with the, Christmas on the horizon, I feel like I look back and see the overheads, because we paid off the studio in the last house over a certain amount of years. It took me about 6 years to pay it off because money was so slow coming in and building the business. But I owned that space. And then when I moved back home last year, it was during COVID. We were here and everything I made went back into the business in a, not superficial way, but in I had money in the bank, which I've never had before. That felt great. Now, the way the business is, it's just a totally different model. So the work, the money that comes in fuels the business in a different way. And bricks and mortar doesn't give you anything back. It's not an ISA account, but I'm learning to just breathe into that. You've maybe gathered that I'm struggling a little bit emotionally at the minute, and I did speak to my doctor about that because I've never in my life before have felt this tension. But I think there's also just some things with my heart, and just, I don't know, sometimes things can get a little overwhelming, and it's okay to address that. And that's why I think it's important that if you are a risk taker, or if you aren't, that you know yourself really well and that you can calculate what works and what doesn't. For me, it's worked and it's got me to here. But I also, as I've said before as well, I need routine. I need to know there's a break in the horizon, and there is for me. We're going away, all being well, this Christmas with great friends of ours. So that is something I'm looking forward to, and that will also feed my creativity and my business mind and my mental and emotional well-being, which is the most important thing. So today, think about where you are. Think about literally what's on your hands. Are you drinking a cup of tea? Are you driving in the car? Are your hands on the steering wheel? Are you looking at the kids and thinking, whoa, this is amazing? Are you looking at your partner? Are you thinking about a partner? Are you thinking about your next move in business? You have time. Now, time is good and time is here. And remember, all these social media tools that we have are free. Just remember that. All the other things are feeders and they're great. But remember to share a little bit of you as well and to be excited about it. This is an amazing time to be alive. I can't believe these kids can come out of art college and go straight onto social and start selling immediately. It is unreal. If you're listening to that now, take advantage of it. Do it. My son could be making money gaming at the minute. It's an art form in itself, the social media platforms. So guard your heart, be yourself, and have an amazing Christmas. Thank you for listening. I would love if you would leave a review or subscribe or tell your friends about this, because it is my heart and soul goes into this. And as I said, it's easier for me to say to you talking into a microphone and talking into my phone, but when the press are interested, it's I don't know what they're going to say with my words. So just keep being you. Know yourself really, really well and love yourself from your brain to your bones, and just breathe into it. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the other side.